Gaff cards. You love them, I love them, we all love them. Gaff cards can be some of the most important methods in a magician's repertoire. Sometimes one card does all the work for you, while you can just sit back and relax and the spectator is blown away. So today, I'm going to be showing you 52 of my favorite gaff cards. These were cards that I produced way back in September of last year. This is the Dystopian Gaff Deck, and it was actually a Magician Club exclusive. It was only available for the members of the King tier of the Magician Club of that month. Until now, because now it's available for everyone, and so I'm going to crack this open, I'm going to show you the cards inside and teach you a little bit about each one. There are cards in here that have fooled magicians, there are cards in here that I use all the time that are real workers, and honestly I can't wait to show you some of these. Starting with the first one, this is honestly just sort of thrown in for a bit of fun. It is a misprinted card. You can see it's completely misaligned. You get one in original red and you get one in dark in the dystopian designs. And I've actually taught how to use these on the channel before. With a simple snap change, you can fix this misprinted card, but also they're just included to let your imagination run wild. As with all of the cards I'm going to show you, there's not a set use for it. If you come up with a different idea, then that is entirely okay. These are just playground tools for you to sort of have fun with and invent whatever. So yeah, you get two of those misprints. Oh yes, up next are two cards that you might recognize. These are the credit card backed playing cards that were so liked that they actually went on to be their own deck. These are the CVN Bank playing cards, also available for sale. You get two in the Gaff Deck though, and these can be used for things like card to wallet or as prediction tricks, or honestly just as anything you want. They look absolutely wild, so insane. I love the design of these. Well, clearly, because I made them into a deck of their own. So yeah, those are the card to wallet Gaff cards. And while we're on the topic of the card to wallet playing cards, inside each deck, you get one of these, which is a credit card on the front and the back, and it has a little QR code that's a great little Easter egg. I'll record my screen so that you can see what's going on. When you scan the QR code, you'll notice it comes up with a notes app, and it actually reads Ace of Spade. The QR code is a card reveal in itself, so you can have one of these in your wallet as just an apparently ordinary looking credit card, and then they scan the QR code and it still turns out to be a card reveal. That is something that I just love. So yeah, that is in the actual card to wallet deck. Alrighty, returning to the Gaff Deck, the next ones are these, which I call Angle Z restoration cards. You'll notice they look like normal playing cards with a different corner printed in the middle. It's got a sort of tear effect. You can use this as a sort of mis-restored card, so you can tear the 7 of hearts and then sort of accidentally fuse the King of Clubs to it. Obviously, doing this just requires a very simple bit of sleight of hand to switch those two cards over, but one tip that I will give you is whenever there's a printed tear on a playing card, I always find it really awkward that the spectator can't feel anything, and that might give the game away that the card was printed to do the trick. So what I like to do is I like to take a scalpel and scratch along that tear line on the front and the back so that the spectator actually has something to feel, and it makes the restoration a whole lot more convincing because they can feel the tear and yet it's still one card. You're not going to cut the card, you're literally just going to scratch it so that there's a little ridge. Moving on, the next bunch of cards are all Angle Z gimmicks. So here, this is a Daniel Madison trick, and we've got Daniel Madison as the King of Diamonds on the first one as a little homage to him. It's not a trick I can teach, but if you know it, as a lot of magicians do, then a whole bunch are included in the Dystopian Gaff Deck. All right, moving on, we've got some mispipped cards here. Again, I've taught tricks with mispipped cards. I've got a little bit of an unorthodox use for them, but obviously you get an Ace of Diamonds, 2 of Clubs mispip, which is a very classic sort of 3-card Monte mispip, but you also get a Jack of Spades, Jack of Clubs mispip, which is kind of inspired by a trick I had in one of my first ever magic kits actually, which was like a brainwave effect. My God, that trick still kills to this day. It is such a good trick. Honestly, I would perform that in my professional repertoire. In fact, I might, now that I've thought of it. It's just such a good trick. That brainwave thing fools people so hard, and yet the secret is so easy. So yeah, I love that one. And you also get a Queen of Clubs, Queen of Spades one. Again, very similar kind of deal, but just on a different card. This one is in dark. And now we move on to some of the most sort of... I just gotta show you them. There's no way of me like explaining it, I'll just show it to you. Let's say a card has been selected and it's the 5 of clubs. You take a match, you strike it, just like so. What's going on? Why won't it strike? That's weird. Ah, wait a second. I think it won't strike because it's actually not a matchbox, it's a playing card. The 5 of clubs. This, I absolutely love this. This takes the sort of card to matchbox effect very literally. A card is a matchbox. These gimmicks I absolutely love. You literally just get 3 of these flat packed matchboxes that you just fold and it fits around any standard matchbox. A playing card is just perfectly sized for that. I would really love to do this again and print it in a more sort of standard matchbox, you know, the classic sort of designs that you get. Do a version of that and just sell them because this trick is so damn good. At the moment, this works with the Camp 52 matchboxes, which of course you don't need because you can literally just make them out of the deck, but yeah, wow, love this, love this. All right, moving on, we've got a whole lot of gaff cards to get through. Let's keep going. These are miniature boxes. You literally just cut on the dotted line, fold everything into place, and voila, you have a card box that can become a playing card, just like that. It's a neat little reveal. And talking of boxes, these cards right here look like the front of a box. So you can take this, you can disguise it on top of a Dark Dystopian deck, for instance, and yet it can secretly be a playing card. So in this instance, you can take the 9 of clubs, you can rub the box on it just like this and it completely vanishes. As soon as you start to think of ideas with this, you actually realize that it is one of the most versatile ones in here. There are so many things you can do, and you can actually just use it as a sort of replacement box thing. Like, you know, sometimes when you make a gimmick, you don't want to cut up card boxes because they're harder to come by. Well, you can just use these. And next up, Joker gimmicks. Each of these gimmicks are designed around a dystopian Joker, and I'll take you through one by one. Each one has a subtle difference. We got some card reveals. You'll notice it says 8 of diamonds right there. This one says 5 of spades, and these ones are actually both double faces with the matching cards on the back as a little kicker. But we've also got some card reveals that are just normal ones, double-faced jokers without any reveals at all, and because the deck is 52 gaff cards, but we still had some extra cards left over, you do get just regular jokers in the deck so that it's completely self-contained. Now we get to some more versatile gaff cards. These right here are kings and aces on the back. So many uses for these. These are definitely for the sort of gambling demonstrations or color changes, or, I mean, I could sit here and list tricks for double faces all day if you know how powerful double faces can be. You don't need me to say just how useful these are. We've also got 2 more double faces with queens on the front and aces on the back, and double faces with the same card on both sides. What good's including a double facer without including double backers? We've got double backers right here. I think double backers might be the most versatile gaff card. Like, I just can't think of a gaff card that can do as much as a double backer. It really is just almost the gaff card. Like, if you're gonna think of a gaff card, probably the first one you think of is a double backer. So yeah, you just can't go wrong with one. Next up, we have a double blank card, and this one, funny story about this. When I sent the files to the printers to have this deck made, they kept saying that there was an error with the files, and I checked the files over and over and over, and there just weren't any errors. And eventually they said that it was because one of the cards was blank on both sides, and I had to explain to them that this was a deliberate choice, that it's a gaff deck, we want a blank card included, and honestly it took a lot of convincing to get this printed. This card right here caused me so much issue. They just did not understand that I wanted a blank card included. These 2 were the only cards in the deck that I printed without a specific trick in mind. I knew that I wanted some cards to just be open to interpretation and just there for the sake of creativity, to let people create things that they wouldn't otherwise create because those cards wouldn't normally exist. And it's these 2. So we've got a sort of quarter red and a quarter black on the opposing colors, and I've come up with a few routines for these. I'd be interested to teach them on the channel, a couple of transpositions and so on. But yeah, these were really just here for the creativity and maybe gimmick making, or I honestly didn't know what it was, and that was the whole point of including them. So yeah, we've got some strange sort of miscoloured quarter cards. But by far two of my favourites are this one right here, a weird sort of red and black misprinted one, and a classic defect playing card right here, a sort of twisted restoration. Love this, I'm always performing with this. Might get some refills printed. Let me know if that's something you're interested in. And the last two, I call this one Fused because it's a hole on a card that's been fused with the Jack of Hearts. So you sort of place these two cards together, they fuse, and it creates a sort of impossible souvenir that, again, it's like Angle Z. They're gonna be looking at this thinking, how the hell has that happened, sort of thing. It's, yeah, it's a weird one. And then this last one is a Jack of Diamonds, and this is not dystopian at all. This is a sort of bicycle style Jack of Diamonds with my face on it, and it's an anti-Acarn card. Now, anti-Acarn is an effect I created, which I'm super proud of, where you have a box of playing cards, you have a card named, you have a number named, stereotypical any card, any number setup, and then when they open the box, there's only one card inside, the Jack of Diamonds, and the number they named is on the back, 12. And there we go. Those are 52 gaff cards in however many minutes this video was. I absolutely enjoyed going through these cards. Again, if you want to pick up this deck, link is down in the description. See where you can pick those up, cvn.cards. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. It is always appreciated, it really is. And if you're new to the channel and you like anything to do with magic, hit the subscribe button, join the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.